Hi, welcome to White Tree Tarot. My name is Alex, and today we will be talking about my favorite Major Arcana cards. What a great reason to go through all of my decks to find Major Arcana cards I love the most, but what a hard task to find that very special one for each position. I allowed myself some cheating and chose a couple of cards for each Major Arcana, because all of them have multi-layered meanings and different decks represent various sides of those archetypes better. And the longer it took to decide, the more beautiful versions came up. So no, this is not going to be a short video. Okay, but let us start. So, full. First, Shadowscapes Tarot. I have no doubt looking at this card that she is going to fly, not fall. And that little fox remind me about Fox from Little Prince story, and also a bit of the Cheshire Cat. Alice Tarot. Fool as a situation, not a person. Actually, the phrase going down the rabbit hole was one of my first associations for the Fool card, even before I saw this deck. Number 3. This card comes from Carnival at the End of the World deck, and he looks so ready for new and unexpected journeys, and I really like that part with those dolls, or I assume them as masks he's carrying, his previous lives, and now he's ready to take on a new mask and he's preparing for a new role. Beginner's mind, beginner's luck. And number 4, this is from 78 Mythical Tarot. And yes, he's here, first of all, because of being super cute. Adorable, a bit naive, ready to take a journey outside his comfort zone. And this looks like the beginning of some Disney movie. Now, Magician. This comes from the Vampire Tarot by Roberta Place. Oh, sorry, there is some glare. He's showman. He's materializing out of a mist, enchanting actor, hypnotic even, and he will definitely get what he wants just by bending all other involved to his will. Then there is a magician from Dark Mansion Tarot, and I like him because this is a magician who gets his power through knowledge. He's ready to experiment and see and search for the answers. Then a magician from a Tyldwick Tarot, and a bit like a Vampire Tarot magician, this card is about puppeteer, manipulating not only resources but also people. And the 4th one, oh, how can I fit him here? Okay. This is from Rohrig Tarot. And this magician, this representation of magician, to me really speaks about this manifesting your will, making something big out of just your mind and just your will. High Priestess. Let's start with the High Priestess from True Black Tarot. She's still with aura of mystery, but the main part of this card I like is behind her. I hope you can see this varnished silhouette. This is a topographic map of Mariana Trench. That's the deepest point on Earth, and maximum known depth is around 11,000 meters, which is about 36,000 feet. But the trench is brimming with unexplored species like glowing creatures, single-celled organisms 4 inches in length. that's a potential knowledge, but very hard to access due to that enormous water pressure. And if we remember that water represents emotions, this is such a smart approach to this card. I hope you will agree. And next High Priestess is from Vertigo Tarot. Vertigo Tarot is a deck based on a series of graphic novels by Dave McKean, and this card represents one of the characters from those novels. Her name is Mad Hetty. She possesses a lot of knowledge, as any High Priestess should have, but she lives the life of a bag lady. And Hetty bubbles like any crazy woman. Yet, in a world that does not recognize mystery, her muttering guards the secrets as well as any ancient temples. So I like both of those cards together because a High Priestess can be both. Information that you know is there lying down under and you have to find the way to get to it, or knowledge seemingly on the surface but you need to learn how to notice and decipher it. Third High Priestess comes from Whispering Spirits Tarot. My very special High Priestess, the only priestess so far I have ever approached as fairy godmother. And fourth one, from Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot. She looks like an ancient being who has always been there, collecting knowledge, and the one who will be here even after we are gone. Now to the Empress. Let's start with the Empress, gorgeous card from Pagan Otherworlds. She's strong, she's decisive, she's a ruler, not so much mother. And number 2, from Fountain Tarot. And she is like coming out of the water from the place where evolution itself began. She looks like creation, growth, very beautiful, very rich colors on this card. And number 3, from Sevenfold, Sevenfold Mystery Tarot by Robert and Place. And I love her being so luxury, so abundant, so relaxed. She has even taken down her crown because she doesn't need to wear a crown. She is Empress. One more, Empress from... Okay, let's move it. This is from Dreamkeepers Tarot. And I love her for being not only so beautiful, but also she seems connected to Earth and to the sky, engaging everything. And one more, Empress from... that doesn't fit in the screen. The Empress from the Vertigo Tarot, I mentioned just before. I like her just for being so abundant and so sensual, so beautiful. Emperor. Let's start with the Emperor card from Tyldwick Tarot. This is close to perfect representation for me of Emperor card. It speaks about lots of knowledge with all those books, about stability, about heaviness and structure. This big bookshelf looks so permanent and so stable, so gorgeous Emperor card. And number 2 is well-known Emperor from Sasuraibito Tarot. He's obviously a practitioner. He is the boss. Like, you wouldn't doubt his authority. One more very well-known Emperor, Mariel Tarot. Again, close to a perfect representation of Emperor card. Just his face speaks of authority, of wisdom, of seeing patterns. So, great Emperor. And number 4 comes from Naked Heart Tarot. And I like that in this deck he's representing Skyfather, a more of universal order, not just the order, let's say, on the surface of Earth. For Hierophant, let's start with a card from True Black Tarot. I like this depiction of his crown, showing that smaller parts become something greater. Bricks are shaped to support the whole structure. And group work and shared beliefs, those ideas are very ancient. And in the background, you can see that varnished glossy part. In the background, we have a shape of Lake Mungo in Australia. This is a place where one of the world's oldest ritually buried human remains were found, meaning that there were a group of people who shared beliefs regarding the ceremony of burial and regarding afterlife as such, and that it was already 40,000 years ago when people had common beliefs. So it's really, I really like this card speaking about this ancient part of our belief system. And number 2, oh, this is such a beautiful card from Alice Tarot. And I tend to interpret Alice Tarot based on the story, on the book, not so much on the meaning of the tarot card. And here, this is an Hierophant, a teacher whom, when you ask for help or advice, you get the advice so clouded that you will have to try to understand the answer. So this is a teacher which just makes you think hard, but that's sometimes a very good thing, isn't it? And number 3, this is from Victorian Romantic Tarot. And I love how tender he's teaching with love and openness. He's open to his students' visions and approaches. He represents tradition, but also he knows so much that now he's ready to listen also to other people's opinions. And number 4 is a Hierophant card named Van Helsing from Vampire Tarot by Robert and Place. And he doesn't only believe in something. He doesn't only teach those people around him how to defeat Dracula and such, but the main thing here why I like him is he's living and acting according to his faith. So he not only speaks about his faith, he lives according to it. Now to the Lovers card. Let's start with Lovers cards from Victorian Romantic Tarot. And I like using both of them in my readings because here you can see both, let's say, several parts of romance and love. Dante and Beatrice representing romance, merging souls, and also idealization of the partner, as Dante actually loved idealized, not a real woman. And a painting called Night Embraces Evening, about passionate, sensual merging of bodies, another part of love. Next is a Lover's card from Jonasa Jaus Tarot. I just think it's so beautiful, and not much pictures or details are needed, just two embracing hands and roses. Number 2 is from Antique Anatomy Tarot. Your heart is blooming and your stomach is full of butterflies, of course, a beautiful representation of lovers. And number 4 comes from Dreamkeepers Tarot. I think one of the most stunningly beautiful depiction of a lover's card, finding the one you can totally trust and open to. She's revealing her deepest emotions and instincts, and he admits being fragile by showing that house of cards behind his jacket. Soul connection card. Chariot card. Let's start with the Chariot card from Darkness of Light Tarot. I just adore her ability to concentrate, ability of multitasking she's taking on, because riding on a horse and trying to shoot an arrow, that seems like quite a lot of concentration to me. Number 2 is from Jaus Tarot. And this speaks about the speed, about knowledge, concentrated knowledge needed to get to this speed, to build a rocket, to go to the space. So this, to me, speaks about concentration of mental power, of ideas, and also high speed of physical action. Number 3, Chariot from Sasuraibito Tarot. And I like that here you see a warhorse, and the card in the guidebook is called Warrior, because especially in the historical decks, this card is depicted as Chariot of War. So I like Chariot card, which speaks also about victory over opposition, about struggle. And number 4 is from Moonchild Tarot. I think this is the most calm Chariot cards of all I have, about thoughts, about intentions mobilized into action. No horse is depicted on this card, so this, to me, this really speaks more about intentions and concentrating your mental power. Strength card. One of the most popular strength cards, I think, is from Bohemian Gothic Tarot. And sometimes I think we overlook the fact that there is a chain connected to the lion. So to me, this card speaks more about taming your power, or taming by the power, about long-term fight of two powers. Very, very intense card. Number 2, from Antique Anatomy. This is the longest and the strongest bone in a human body. So this is just literal strength and endurance depicted. Number 3, from Mariel Tarot. Strength which really comes from within, strength which is part of you, confidence without need to prove anything, because really your strength is a part of you. And number 4, from Dark Mansion Tarot. I like how how united this team looks. This is really more about teaming up with your inner strengths and your passions, and to me they both represent equal powers, equal team members. And the lion roars not to her friend, but actually he's just showing to the world around that he is protecting her friend, team member. Hermit. This wonderful man comes from Dark Mansion Tarot. He looks like it could taken some time to find him, and he's a guardian of some secret library, and he's leading you into this library to get some deep knowledge. So he's not so much about going inside himself, but he's like the guide for me to go inside my my head inside myself. And I like that he also has a little hourglass, just as a reminder about the older decks where Hermit was depicted as Father Time. Next Hermit card from a Carnival at the End of the World. I love this idea so much about finding the light within you and then becoming the light to show the way to the others. Next card comes from Rohrig Tarot, and I like that maze part here, telling about going through the maze within yourself and discovering your inner universe. And one more from Lightseer's Tarot. Beautiful card, and I think the best is to use keywords from author. I witness my heart. This seems such a wonderful place to be. Wheel of Fortune. This card comes from Connolly Tarot, and I chose it as a reminder of the idea I really like in a historical decks, that there are stages which you go through on the wheel of life. I will reign, I reign, I have reigned, like cycles in unescapable cycles of human life. Number 2 is from Carnival at the End of the World. This speaks about luck, pulling your ticket from the drum, but also about being on the light, being ready to go if your luck changes. Follow your lucky sign. Next is from Dark Mansion. And, I like the idea here about enjoying this spin, enjoying that cycles of day and cycles of the year change, and just celebrating those cycles of life and enjoying this ride. And one more from Jaus Tarot, just to remind that sometimes it's all about just pure luck, and you can just cross your fingers and hope that your fortune will be good. Justice card. This comes from oh my god, blanked out. Prisma Visions, of course. Sorry, Prisma Visions Tarot, and speaks about cause and effect. That treacherous victory is soon to be cut short, like biting and cutting this snake. So yeah, really about cause and effect. Number 2 is from Antique Anatomy Tarot, and I think this card is more about waiting out. No, not waiting. No, just you have to decide between your heart and your brain, or even better, you have to find some balance between them when judging things. Next is from Vertigo Tarot, and the character portrayed here is a kind of a superhero, and he judges good and evil according his own knowledge and his own perception. But what I like on this card is those 2 eyes, which look like a children's drawing, and speak about looking at the world with child's eyes, without prejudices. Oops, sorry about shaking. And the next card is from Naked Heart Tarot, and I really like how clear and simple this picture is, about fairness based on fact and logic, and about this little tiny point of pure justice. Hangman. This beautiful creature comes from Dark Mansion Tarot. And I see this picture as a smart twist because this vampire is obviously used to hanging upside down, because we all know that vampires sleep this way, right? But he now takes his time to see world from different perspective, and he turns his head like right side up. Number 2, from Victorian Romantic. I like her, and I like this Hangman card because it's obvious that it was her choice to be upside down, her choice to challenge herself and be in this position. Number 3 is from Danilov Tarot, and in this card, his rope is held by some hand from above, so until he has some epiphany about the situation, he won't be let go. And also I like that there is this satchel of gold telling us that the price have to be paid for getting new knowledge and to gaining new perspectives. And one more Hangman from Jonasa House Tarot. And this is, let's say, so obvious interpretation of a hangman, just speaking about this time of pause before something beautiful appears, before some next stage starts, before some new life begins. Death card. One of my favorite death cards comes from Wild Unknown Tarot deck, and I love it because it's very blunt. It's dead, for real. No avoiding of this stage. And yes, it will turn into fertile ground, and there will be new life out of it, but it has to be dead before. This is Death card from Dark Mansion Tarot, and he's so very human. He looks tired, a bit melancholic, as if he himself needs to let go of something. And this card reminds me of a movie, Palermo Shooting, where a main character of this movie meets death. And Death says that he's tired of playing the bad guy all the time, that he's gentle, but people see him as cruel, that death is the opening. Death is connecting door, not the dead end. And as he says, I'm the only way out. So yeah, this death card looks a bit like he needs a hug, maybe. Next, one more quite famous death card from Deviant Moon Tarot. By resisting the death, you are actually resisting the birth. There is no return back to your mother or to your previous stage, and the death is at the same time also a seed, a new beginning starting. And I think one of the most beautiful death cards of all times from Lightseers Tarot, it really speaks about transition, transformation, entering a whole new world, and in very peaceful and harmonious way. Temperance. This Temperance card is from Vampire Tarot by Robert M. Place, and speaks about like literal temperance, about moderation, about self-control, about thinking of consequences if you take too much or if you go further as needed. Next is from Shadowscapes Tarot, and I love how idea about the mixing something very different, very opposite together. And this is from Antique Anatomy Tarot. I'm not sure how good you can read what's written there, but this is really just a poster about meeting, and very literally speaks about joining, about coming together of different views, maybe different people, and really about gathering of different forces, sides of life, etc. And last is from Alice Tarot. If you know the story, you know that Alice needed to take a piece of mushroom from each side of the mushroom, and then to find a balance, how to be back to her normal height. If you don't know the story, I think you wouldn't understand my explanation, but still. This is about a process of balancing different factors, about finding just the right mix which will suit your needs. Devil card. Let's start with the Devil card from Tyldwick Tarot, about seeing the devil in yourself. If we look closely, we can even see like a shadow or a silhouette of a man here. So, such a smart idea about the devil in ourselves. Equally smart card, Devil card, comes from Steampunk Tarot. It's a man-made machine, and this machine now controls its creators and make them feed the machine. About today's society, isn't it? Bohemian Gothic. Bohemian Gothic. Oops. Where it's running away. Bohemian Gothic Tarot. About our attachment to our weaknesses, about that we love our devils and we won't let them go so easily. One more devil card from Alice Tarot. Hamish character named Jabberwock. And I think this speaks more about imaginable threat, about our inner demons, which are maybe not real or not so scary as we think of them. Tower card. One of my all-time favorite tower cards comes from Fountain Tarot, and I would say that this was my aha moment, my aha card for a tower, because here you can see that tower is not so much about ruining everything, but about taking away which is not needed, or maybe extras or something you built too high or too unstable. So that part which is falling down is actually an part which doesn't belong to the stability and to the harmony of those two pyramids here. Number 2, from Prisma Visions Tarot. I really like the idea here about like expecting unexpected or rapid results are coming from a long time unnoticed erosion here. Then Dreamkeepers, Dreamkeepers Tower, and to me this is a very powerful card because it shows not only demolition of some man-made structures, but actually a demolition, a crack, destruction in a person itself. And Tower card from Rohrig Tarot. I like that in a, not so maybe obvious from the picture, but in the description it says that this tower was teared down from inside, that there was too much pressure, too much energy gathered here, and the blast of that energy, of that suppressed emotions or thoughts, just blow this whole thing up. So this Tower card is not so much about the outer forces, but inner forces and some unnoticed, suppressed emotions in ourselves. Star card, usually one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. This comes from Japaridze Tarot. realm of dreams, star rising above those harsh landscapes here and going up to the light. Very beautiful card, stunningly beautiful. Next one from Naked Heart Tarot, and I love this card for being so simple. Just the Northern Star, just the guiding star showing you the way and giving you hope to get out of the situation you are now, maybe. And Whispering Spirits Tarot. So sweet, so positive. She looks happy to give that hope to the one who is looking at her. And one more gorgeously beautiful star card from Jonasa House Tarot. It's, to me, it speaks about peace, harmony, help from above, providential help. And the flower depicted here, it's jasmine, and it speaks of delicacy, reminds us about the sweet aroma, about those calm spring nights, calm and peaceful and harmonious card. Really love it. I must say that the Moon card is one of my favorite cards in the whole deck, so here will be a bit more depictions in this chapter. Moon card from Bohemian Gothic. Dreams, magic, mystery, wild things, visions, most Gothic cards. So beautiful. Next from Dark Mansion Tarot, and speaking about trusting your own feelings, your intuition to lead you, to finding your way through darkness, depending on your intuition, on this beautiful blue ribbon here. And this moon comes from VII Tarot, and I don't know, it just speaks and tells me moon and Salvador Dali. Beautiful depictions, so interesting. Deviant Moon, love this moon card. It's about newfound freedom, about etiquette brushed aside, hidden personalities come out to dance, and actually the reality is just in your mind, and maybe it's not what you see. And Moon didn't create these behaviors. Moon just pulls them out from the shadows and maybe gives extra freedom to people. And of course, this gorgeously gorgeous card from True Black Tarot. And the main thing I like here is that idea about illusions, about the rules that no longer apply, because that here, above a woman's head, is actually edge from the glass here. So it speaks about different perspectives and illusions, and the way you see things as they are, or maybe they are not. So beautiful, wonderful card. Sun card. This comes from Dark Mansion Tarot, and to me it really speaks about those beautiful, simple happinesses, those little joys in life, maybe some childhood memories, but just about enjoying life in all its forms. And no creepy babies, but still a white horse here. Next from Prisma Visions Tarot. This is just such a luxurious, abundant sun card, pouring energy, pouring inspiration, blooming with energy. Next, I couldn't resist this gorgeous, happy, enjoy your life card from True Black Tarot, and I'm not sure how to better show that to you, but Oops. Oh yeah. Here are our solar system represented on her background. Lots of sunflowers. Gorgeously beautiful card. And one more from Sasuraibito Tarot. And to me, this card speaks about not just the brightness of the sun or the joy we get from the sun, but also that when you get too close to the sun, you can get burned. Because this kid here, looks like he's at the same time being happy about that the sun shines and somehow being a bit protective from the sun's rays. Judgement. This is from Druidcraft Tarot, and I just have to include this here because this is my aha card regarding meaning of the Judgment card. Because just by seeing this picture, I think I finally got the idea about rebirth, about hearing your call, answering your call, being reborn. Reborn? That's the word, I'm not sure. Starting a new life following your call. Next is from Jonasa House Tarot. First of all, I just love this blunt depiction from zombie movies a bit. And also the idea about the plant chosen here. It's Rose of Jericho. It's also called a resurrection plant because after a period of drying, lack of water, this plant can continue its life cycle if it is rehydrated. So if it gets water again, leaves which appear to be dead become green. So I think a perfect depiction for the Judgment card. Again, VII Tarot. I think the picture speaks for itself because the feeling of going to a better place, if I may say so, about finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, about the better times coming. Really, really like this card. And also, of course, Lightseer's Tarot. About letting your dreams out, about letting your ideas, your true desires out in the world. Let them fly high. And finally, we have come to the World card. This is from Nicoletta Ceccoli Tarot. I love this idea about that each completion is a little end also. And when you have finished something, you already look for your next challenges. Dark Mansion. Just about enjoying your achievements, celebrating something you have done, moving on and remembering your victories as those pictures on the wall. VII Tarot, just for the pure beauty of this card. Abundant, vibrant, joyful, full of everything as a true world card should be. And one more gorgeously beautiful world card from Moonchild Tarot. About success and about seeing the whole picture, feeling yourself as a part of the bigger world, of a bigger universe. Beautiful, beautiful card. So that was the last card. Thank you for stepping by. Thank you for watching. Especially great, big, enormous thank you to those who were able to sit through whole this video. I hope to see you soon on my channel again. And have a very nice day and be safe, be healthy.